Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the 1999 classic film Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. This is a very quick hour and 7 minutes, 67 minutes in total. It's a two-part mystery, and I completely forgot this as a kid. I haven't seen this in years. We spoke about how incredible the soundtrack is when we talked about Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island. The soundtrack for Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost and Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island was a combined CD that came out, I want to say 99. I don't have the original disc near me. I don't know where it is. It could be in the basement for all I know. Haven't listened to it in decades. Haven't seen this in decades. So it's been quite some time. But this film is awesome. So the first half of this is Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Inc. gang are meeting Ben Ravencroft, who's this famous, horror writer and mystery writer, and that Velma's obsessed with. So he invites them to go back to his hometown of Oakmond. I don't see it in the description. Oak something in Massachusetts. To check the leaves and watch the colors and all these things. It's a nice, peaceful town. And when they get there, it's just chaos. There's tourists everywhere. So Ben talks to the mayor, and he talks to the pharmacist, and he talks to the baker, and all these different things. And they've been putting a PR spin on Sarah and Ravencroft. The witch's ghost is back from her original, 1600s witch trial, persecution, and murder. And so the witch's ghost is back, and people want to see the witch's ghost. So the witch's ghost is flying around and doing all these things, and the Hex Girls are this eco-goth band who have original roots within the town, and so they're performing charity events and doing a big show, culminating the fall festivities. But the witch's ghost is attacking, so it's thought that the Hex Girls have some influence in the witch, but they set a trap. Turns out it was the lead singer's dad the whole time, wearing the mask, but he had the whole town helping. They threw a PR stunt because there was no business coming in, and now that business is booming. It's great. So that's the first part, right? Which is very Paranorman. Paranorman is just straight copied from the first half of The Witch's Ghost, which I find very interesting. Actually, now I think about it, the entire movie of Paranorman, which is an incredible movie, mind you, takes place... The first and second mysteries of this movie is the first and second mysteries of Paranorman. Interesting. Well, more so the second part. Finding out the true mystery of the witch. Was she really a witch? How she was persecuted, all these things. Wow, so many similarities. Love it. I love both of them equally. For as much similarities as they are. So the second part is Ben Ravencroft actually wants a book that Sarah Ravencroft had. And she was persecuted because she was a Wiccan, and she practiced all these different, herbal remedies and different things like that. And the Hex Girls are Wiccans, so they are just explaining that it's nature, it's healing stuff, it's natural remedies, herbs, spices, things like that. Putting concoctions together which look to be spells. It's interesting how it's explained, and seeing it explained at such a young age, it's very different to see it not bashed or not, what's the word I'm thinking of? Criminalized. It's cool seeing it just as a, this is how it is kind of a thing. So Ben has ulterior motives. That turns out Sarah was actually a witch who did actually practice magic, not just Wiccan spells and healing stuff, right? She actually practiced magic. And so he wants the book because he's technically then a warlock if, down the line, he's 1/16th Wiccan from Sarah's side, so he technically has the magic in his blood. So he wants to rule the world with her. He brings her out of the spell book that her spirit ghost was actually trapped in. The witch's ghost is literally trapped in a book. Gets her out. All hell breaks loose. Chaos ensues. She then realizes she doesn't need her great nephew. And so it's interesting watching the Scooby Gang try to then save him, and then he is then sucked into the book, when she's sucked back into the book, because the only true Wiccan, who is the lead singer of the Hex Girls, can actually perform this spell, perform the ritual, in order to trap the evil back into the book, to be buried away again forever. Very cool. It's a very quick film, 30 minutes of figuring out the man behind the mask, 30 minutes, very quick, of deciphering the actual magic, the actual real witch. So again, it's cool. having this in 99 and having Zombie Island in 98, because it's not just people in masks. It's not just a man behind a mask. It's actual stuff. Zombie Island was an actual curse from an actual cat god. The witch's ghost is an actual curse from an actual witch. So it's very cool seeing it's not just the phony baloney stuff of the meddling kids ruining the rich, copper barons' plans or whatever. It's finding truth within the actual monsters. So it's not all monsters do monstrous things. We know and love that quote from Teen Wolf, but it's the humans who are the actual monsters, not so much Scooby-Doo has always been about humans being the actual monsters, not so much having a realness to it. It's always been a man behind the mask, that the humans are the real monsters. But in these movies, it shows that there can actually be monsters, not just the human monster, that there are actual monsters. Very cool, very different. Love it, love it, love it. This is an incredible movie that is incredibly quick with incredible music. Love me some Scooby-Doo. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.